India is very interesting as a market, but I would say that not just as a market, but a cooperation partner. I would put it more like that, because of course there's the huge scale here in India, but there's also richness of ecosystems and richness of culture and traditions and talent. So I'm sure that they are mutually beneficial ways of cooperation for the two of us.
Okay, so do you see current government policies will benefit this market?
Sorry?
Current government policies of India.
Well, I don't want to comment really those. I know that the government has now banned online gaming with real money, but that's each country's own decision, and I don't want to go into that.
So how do you see Finland and Indian bilateral trade?
Well, bilateral trade is nowadays some 3 billion euros, counting both the exports and imports and of the goods and services. So it's on a good trend, growing trend. So that's very positive. But I would say that there's room to grow definitely. We have also some 4 billion worth investments from Finland to India, and some 1 billion from India to Finland. So it is there, but like I said, there's room to grow.
Okay, so you're saying there's room to grow. How was the bilateral trade in FY24, and how much are they expecting this financial year?
I don't have any let's say predictions yet at this stage, but the growth is steady, I would say. Yeah.
And sir, there is so much of talks about the EU FTA.
Yeah, well, that's something that we strongly support, because we see it as a very important factor in the relationship between the EU and India, and I think it really would be important for both parties to reach a meaningful deal, and the leaders have expressed their commitment to the goal of having an agreement by the end of this year, but I think there still remains quite a bit of work to do, frankly.
Any trade agreement between India and Finland?
No. As we are part of the EU, the EU does the trade deals for us.
Sir, how the world is combating that US trade?
Sorry.
How the world is battling with this trade tariff by US?
Sorry, I had difficulty.
US imposed tariff on India.
Yeah.
And in also other countries. So how the world is behaving?
Well, I would say that Finland is a supporter of free trade. So we hope that trade deals can come back into mode, so to say. That we can find ways to lower the tariffs again. I think that would be important for all the countries.
Okay, how do you see the friendship for India and Finland?
Friendship between India and Finland, I think it's very good. We have very solid relationship, and we don't have any problems between us.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
So we have to repeat the first question. This session, this online gaming session.
Yeah. So what?
We were talking about the gaming.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think gaming is actually one of the top export sectors of Finland nowadays. Some I think 3.6 billion worth exports yearly, and 98% of it goes to export. So it really is a big industry nowadays in Finland.
What are the major takeaways of this event about the case study?
So the name of the case study is Scaling Innovation, Exporting Experiences, how Finland became one of the biggest exporters of games all over the world. As the name suggests, of course, this case study is about WinZO and IIC taking a deep probe into what were the key parameters and success factors, ingredients, basis which Finland, which is a country which has a population of 5.5 million people, is being able to generate, deliver world-class global IPs which are played by more than 1 billion people. The total size of the Finnish gaming industry is, I think, 3.6 billion euros. And the interesting part is that 98% of this industry is actually contributed in the form of exports. Of course, we all know there are very popular games coming in from this country, like Clash of Clans, big studios like Rovio, Supercell, and whatnot. And today, the idea is to really learn all these different factors and ingredients that led Finnish gaming company or industry into such a big success, and what all factors can be brought into India, how we can learn on different parameters, right from skilling to policy to talent to the way one should look at IP. I think the idea is to really see Indian gaming ecosystem, which is right now going through a cusp of inflection, how we can learn some of this from the Finnish and perhaps apply it among the Indian context. India, as you all know, is a very large consumer-centric market, 500 million users. This will touch probably 1 billion users. We have probably the richest pool of software developers and technocrats. How can we utilize our culture, heritage, IP, and bundle something into what is called the new age content and experiences, which is gaming marrying comics, marrying movies, OTT, which is basically the future is transmedia, where people play games, they watch movies, of the games that they play. Movies are made of from comics. There are different universes, like for example, Marvel is a universe, Pokemon is a universe, and whatnot. And we, as WinZO, we feel it's our responsibility, being one of the largest interactive entertainment companies coming out of India. We are live in India with 250 million users, already live in Brazil, live in US. I think the future of transmedia, or the way Indian ecosystem is going to evolve from here, I think we'll play an important role, and we are very excited to have this multi-pronged experiential strategy, which will mean, we are already live with games. We have recently gone live with microdrama. How can we really have the same narrative, the same IPs being retold, rehashed in different form factors and platforms? There's a lot to be learned from the Finnish gaming market, and hence this event and hence this report.
So Finland is one of the largest exporters of online games, right? And so how India could develop, footprints in export market?
Well, I think there are a lot of ingredients already which are there, which is like, we have a massive tech talent pool. We have a very large, cost-effective manpower. We have some of the best history, IP. There is like so much rich cultural heritage. We already know there are countries, right? Finland being one, since we are here, we're talking about Finland. Outside Finland also, there are other countries which are sort of, built soft power by using content as rails, right? If you see, like, we all know Korea, done K-drama, K-pop, right? So the idea is, how can we really build local Indian culturally relevant content and export it? I think content will be the frontier on the back of which India will become export-centric. And not only will it attract commerce, it will also attract a lot of soft power. It will also help us export a lot of culture. And once culture sort of starts getting exported, then I think that's the first step towards any superpower, right? And being in gaming, being in entertainment content, I think versus being export ready in an industry which is a lot more hardware bound, a lot more logistics bound. The beauty of software, the beauty of digital products is that at a single click you can literally access the whole world. At a single click, if your product does well, you can literally offer it to the entire world. Like we in WinZO, we have 100+ games made by hundreds of game developers. At a single click, when we went live in Brazil, suddenly all those folks also started going live with their product, start exporting in Brazil or in the US or in any other subsequent market where we enter. So yeah, I think digital frontier is something that India should lead, and we have all the ingredients by our side. I think the right intensity and the right focus has to be there, and we are quite confident that we'll see a new chapter very soon on this.
Okay, last question. What's the current size of Indian users in online gaming, or the online gaming market?
About 500 million users.
Okay, and how much do we see in the next 5 years?
Maybe close to a billion gamers.
5 million to billion.
500.
500 million.
500 million to a billion gamers. Almost 2x.
Do we need something for it, some infrastructure or anything?
I think good distribution of smartphone, good distribution of internet, that's about it. It has to happen. There's not too much effort required for that distribution. What is going to be critical is that who is going to claim that market. They will consume, but they not necessarily will consume only Indian content. They will consume the best content they will get their hands on. And there, the big question is that when there'll be 1 billion gamers in India, do you want them to play global games or do you want them to play Indian games? Or okay, I mean, they should be having access to all kinds of games, but what percentage of your domestic consumption is being met by Indian gaming companies? I think that's a bigger question that we need to ask. And the thing is, it's very porous a sector, right? So the best content wins. It doesn't matter. The user doesn't really care. The user in India and the user outside India also doesn't really care whether this content is homegrown or not, right? All they want is, like, if the content is appealing, they'll play it, they'll watch it. So we need to compete at a global level, that's why, for this.